All glories to JahNitai and Nitai. We are back with third chapter of the Integral Harmony Communication Manual. It is called Communication That Blocks Compassion. That is life and love alienating communication. 3.1 Diagnosis, Judgments, Analysis, Criticism, Comparisons. Certain ways of communicating alienate us from our natural state of compassion and trap us in a world of ideas about rightness and wrongness. A world of judgments, which is not the same as healthy discernment. Our attention is focused on classifying, analyzing, and determining levels of wrongness rather than on what we and others need and may not be getting. In the world of judgments, our main concern is who is what. I believe that violence comes because of lack of education about exiles and protectors, not because of our true nature. We have been educated in a way that proposes violence to be a solution. This kind of education aims to disconnect us from our compassionate nature, which is part of the self-nature. It started long ago with distorted myths about human nature that framed humans as basically evil and selfish, and that the chosen or righteous people are entitled to dominate and crush the so-called lower breed or evil forces, in which the people are also dehumanized and declared as animals, as if animals should not be treated with utmost care. We've been living under this destructive mythology for a long time, and it comes complete with a language that dehumanizes people and tries to turn them into slaves or useful objects. We have learned to mainly think in terms of moralistic judgments of one another. Or better, we have been taught to mainly think in terms of moralistic judgments of one another. We were trained to have a judgmental consciousness associated with words like right, wrong, good, bad, selfish, and unselfish. And connected to these judgments is a concept of justice based on what we deserve. If you do bad things, you deserve to be punished. If you do good things, you deserve to be rewarded. Unfortunately, we have been subjected to this consciousness, this incomplete education for a long time. I think that's the root of violence on our area of the greater Earth plane. Blame, insults, put-downs, critical remarks, labels, and criticisms are all forms of judgment. Comparisons in diagnosis are often judgmental too. When we judge, as a result, we increase defensiveness and resistance from others. If they do agree to act in accordance to our values or demands, because they concur with our analysis of their wrongness, they will often only do so out of fear, guilt, or shame. Examples. The problem with you is that you are too selfish. That is judgmental labeling. She is lazy. Also judgmental labeling. It is wrong. Maybe a correct analysis, but is it a helpful thing to say in that moment, and is it said with compassion or threat of punishment? That's the questions. If you don't help me, I won't lend it to you. Demand with a threat. It is going to be a shame if you don't show up. Demand with future blame. Why can't you be like your brother? Judgmental comparison. You are so stupid. Labeling and insult. You are so intelligent. Positive labeling. It is important not to confuse value judgments and moralistic judgments. Value judgments reflect our beliefs of how life can best be served. For example, we might value honesty, freedom, or peace. There is a considerable less violence in cultures where people think in terms of human needs than in cultures where people label one another as good or bad and believe that the bad ones deserve to be punished. In most of the violent TV or streaming programs children watch, the hero either kills or beats the enemies up. Viewers have been taught that bad guys deserve to be punished and take pleasure in watching this violence. At the root of violence is a kind of thinking that attributes the cause of conflict to wrongness in one's adversaries, as well as in a corresponding inability to think of oneself or others in terms of vulnerability, what one might be feeling, fearing, missing, yearning for, etc. In this sense, you're warmly invited to comment your questions, thoughts, like, share, subscribe, etc. for the highest good of all. May the love be with us all and always. JahNitai.